I think we have some connection problem on Emrah, and maybe I can introduce this meeting. Yeah, and welcome everybody. We have some small connection problem in Emrah's side, so I will start and I will organize to start this webinar session. Today we will be with Claudia, and we work with Claudia with different webinars, workshops. So I know her, and I believe she will help us to learn about DA browser part and another new topics about discipline agile also in agile transformation part in team level, also organization level. I'm very excited to invite Claudia, and welcome, Claudia.
Thank you, Erin. Very nice introduction. Really, really nice. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here at the Turkish chapter.
We had a problem, but I think Emrah maybe will come in 5 minutes, but we can start with you. And firstly, I want to say thank you to accept our invitation. And I want to start with you. Who is Claudia, and what's your role in DA? Maybe we can start with this part.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you my life around TA for the last years. Okay, I knew Discipline Agile around 3 years ago. I was in helping organizations in their transformation processes using SAFe and using Scrum too. And when I knew DA, I thought that some points that I was missing were there in DA. So I really became fascinated about Discipline Agile, and I started being trained in Discipline Agile. And what I learned later was Discipline Agile value stream. I mean, you know, there are like two different ways of entering in the DA world. One is from the value stream side, more business-oriented side with all the value stream, and then on the level team, the Discipline Agile itself. Okay, so this is my relation with Discipline Agile. I trained myself a lot in it, and I started using that with different customers. So I entered PMI around 6 months ago, more or less now, and I am in charge of Discipline Agile in Europe. Okay, so this is my role now in PMI.
Perfect. As you remember, when we met with you, you asked me a question. Why do you choose Discipline Agile, and why do you improve your agility skills with Discipline Agile, not SAFe, not Scrum? And I want to ask same question to you in this session. Why do you use, or why do you choose Discipline Agile?
Okay. One of the things that I like of Discipline Agile is that this is not a framework. Okay, Discipline Agile is not going to tell you you have to do this or you have to do the other thing. Okay, so it gives you freedom. Okay, when you enter into the framework world, at the beginning you are going to experience a kind of delays in your work, but immediately with a framework you are going to experience a very an important improvement in the way you develop or in the way you provide applications or services to your customer. But there is a moment, okay, when the framework it makes you impossible to go faster or even to adapt to your own circumstances. And you find yourself that you are adapting to the framework rather than the framework to yourself. Okay, so when I was at that point, I discovered DA, and I thought, okay, DA can help me overcome this, okay, in a kind of guided way. I will tell you later on what I mean by guided. Okay, so this is one of the things that I really like about Discipline Agile. And if you're asking me in which ways it's different from SAFe or from Scrum, okay, difference are various differences, but I will tell you this is the main difference. And with this difference in mind, DA is going to help you in those aspects that Scrum or SAFe cannot reach, cannot go. Okay, as I always say to all customers or people wanting to know DA, if you are using Safe or Scrum and it is going good with you, that's perfect. Stick to that. Okay, but if there are some points that are making some friction in your teams or within the organization, and you know Discipline Agile, and you like some of the aspects of Discipline Agile, take just those aspects. Keep on with Safe, with the Scrum, but make them improve with Discipline Agile. This is what I like about that. This is not here to substitute anything. It's just to improve our way of working. Okay.
Perfect. Can I use this answer in my webinar sessions, because it was great introduction about difference.
Okay.
Many thanks to good. In my first question, yeah, Emrah also joined. I want, yeah, but yeah, there is again this connection problem. The last one, okay. Emrah, can you hear us?
Hello everyone, it's really just I see myself online and voila, the show is over.
I took your role, I think, but it didn't affect for you.
Okay, so first of all, Claudio, I'm very happy to host you here, even though I couldn't. So, what did you do up to now? How is it going?
We discussed who is Claudia and why do you choose DA. I asked Claudia, and maybe I can summarize our X sessions, and then we can ask new questions to Claudia. In our X sessions, Claudio, in the first week, we discussed about DA mindset. So I think that's very important point to start DA, also Agile transformation. So everything I think is starting with mindset part. So it's connected with being Agile side. So the first week we discussed with Emrah DA mindset part. Second week Scott was with us, and he explained how can we start our discipline Agile transformation. Not just discipline Agile transformation, how can we start our transformation journey? And the answer is on my mind, start where you are was the biggest answer.
Actually, that was the biggest question our participants asking. They were all asking, should we move into another domain to start this change? But Scott refuses this idea. He said, start where you are. Start from where you are.
That's it. That's Emrah. This is very important for DA. Okay, one of the principles of DA is be pragmatic. Okay, so we sit with different organizations and they tell us, okay, yeah, we are using, let's say, a Scrum for 1 year, but then a consultancy came to us and told us, no, you have to go for Safe. And then we went for Safe, and now after 1 year, you are here, PMI with DA. So, and we told them, no, we don't tell you, don't go for Safe, don't go for Scrum. Take all the things that are really worth in your approach, and in those things that you can see that DA can improve your way of working, go for them in DA. Okay, this is the approach with DA.
Great.
That's a good point. In my experience, a lot of team or also a lot of company starting with the transformation with Scrum, and they, after 1 or 2 years, they are the consultants companies or the consultants saying the problem is on you, not framework. So that's a big mistake, because be pragmatic is a very important, I think. Maybe in that part we can ask you, did I interrupt you, Emrah? Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to mention this part because it was the core of what he's telling that time.
Yeah.
Before the question, I can add last week's topics. Last week, Claudia, we discussed life cycles in project-based, product-based life cycles, Kanban, Agile, continuous delivery Kanban, continuous delivery Agile, program life cycle. And Scott showed us new life cycles, but we are very excited to listen them from PMI. As I remember, serial life cycles, and that was one the other life cycle, but I forgot the name. My question is, you said us, be pragmatic is very important in DA mindset part. Can you share with us what's the other parts of important parts of DA mindset?
Okay. Yeah, when introducing DA mindset has different important aspects to take into account, but now I would just highlight just a couple of them. One of them is context counts. Okay, you have probably listened to the context count. You have probably listened to the from Scott. Okay, he was the one of the ideologies of this principle. Okay, yeah, the context counts. So we cannot say that we have a framework or we have an approach that is valid for all organizations, not even for all products, for all teams, and for all people. Okay, we have to find our way of working. Okay, all these could seem to be just words, nice words, but in the second part of the webinar, we're going to see how all these principles can apply to your projects, to your daily life through the DA browser. Okay, that I want to show the DA browser. So context count is really important, and we are going to see how the difference in our context is going to make us choose different parts of the DA tool from the DA browser, okay, that we are going to see. Be pragmatic is what I've told you. If something is working for you, just go for that. If something is not working for you, just try to change that. And if DA helps you in that, we will be happy about that. Okay, what about the guided continuous improvement? This is what I've told you before, okay? This is, I'm going to write, or maybe you can write in the chat because I know how to do it now. Don Reifer, okay? Don Reifer has a very nice picture about how when you take on a framework, how there's an initial curve down, there it goes up, and then you feel constrained by the framework. Okay, before I have just stopped at that point, but quite mature organizations just go to a continuous improvement and they go out of that framework. We can see that in many very mature organizations. But what does DA provide you apart from this continuous improvement is this guided continuous improvement. Okay, I'm going to show you this word, the meaning of that word. The word guided is vital to understand DA. I will tell you that the word guided would be probably the thing that most make us most differentiate for what is a framework, okay? Because this is a guided continuous improvement, and I will show it to you in the DA browser. So at the end of the day, with DA, we have a decision toolkit of agile practices, and you are going to pick up those ones that are going to fit best to your project in that moment. But that decision probably is not only your decision, but it's a team decision, it's a team of teams decision, it's an organizational decision.
Perfect. And the other question, do you have any question, Emrah, or can I continue?
Please do.
Okay. My other question is about DA browser. You talked about DA browser and you mentioned DA browser in some parts.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start with the simple question. What is DA browser?
Okay. Yeah, the DA browser is a software. It's a software development, okay? And in this software, it's conveyed all the knowledge of Discipline Agile. Everything that is beneath Discipline Agile is in there. So when you have a look at the Discipline Agile browser, okay, it is for free now at PMI, so you can go there and you can just play with that, okay? All the options that are written in there are there because one reason. Okay, and that reason is the reason why Scott or Mark and the rest of the DA community have understood they have to be there. Okay, DA is very robust. Okay, it's not that DA has picked some tools or some ways of working from different approaches. But the DA has analyzed how these different tools, how these different approaches behave in organizations, and they have seen that like 90% of the organizations were experiencing like 100% of the problems. So the way of solving those problems is here conveyed in the DA browser. Okay, and why? Because the approach that the DA offers to you, this is why we say this is guided, okay, because it guides you in that choosing. Okay,
Perfect. So, which parts have in that DA browser? Maybe we can discuss about this.
And who should use it? The team leader, the organization, change managers, who should use it?
okay, the DA browser, as we will see now, it's going to be used whenever you want to stand up new teams. Okay, this is a very good tool. Okay, so who should be there? It depends on the project and the organization, but maybe a stakeholder could be there, maybe the general manager, maybe just the Agile manager that wants to, create his own or her own team. It depends on the organization, but we can use the DA browser also to build trust with customers. You will see that later on. Okay, we have some organizations that come to us and see the browser and tell us, okay, we're in the consultancy field, and this browser is really helping us to show our customer different options so that we can choose options with them. So in this case, it would be your organization, important some people in the team, decision people, decision profiles, but also the customer. Okay, so it depends. So coaches, imagine you are also a consultant and you are in an organization, a couple of organizations, and you want to enter an organization, be there for, let's say, 2-3 months and go out of the organization. Then you can train people in that organization with the DA browser to take their own decisions according to the circumstances, to show them how to use the DA browser. And after a bit of training, because you will see that you need to be trained in the DA browser to show how it works, but after that, you can go out of the organization. So it has multiple usages, and according to the usages, different roles can be there.
As I remember, DA recommend us teams have to choose their way of working. So team members have to know this browser. Is it right? For example, if I'm a team member, I'm a developer, and I see some challenge by working with any agile way of working, and then can I check this browser to fix my problem?
Yeah, you were asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. If you are a member of a team, this browser serves you as an assessment, okay? I'm going to explain you, I don't know, first, before we go to the DA browser, Erin, I would like to explain all the, the lean governance, okay? Okay, this is the design, okay, underneath the DA browser. Okay, as you see here, this has a lean approach, and you have first different stages. This is the inception phase. With the inception phase, you have an objective, and that is that you get the team going in the right direction. This is the inception phase. Then you have the construction phase. The construction phase, your objective here will be to incrementally build a consumable solution. Okay. The transition phase, your objective will be to release the solution into production, and they will have here a kind of different outcomes that in the ongoing phase are aimed at improving and working in an enterprise-aware manner, okay? So you can see that and you say, okay, this is a lean approach vision, okay? It is similar to all the lean approaches, to other frameworks. What is different in here that DA provides us, okay? The difference in here is that Discipline Agile tells you that if you are going to start in a project, you will be in the inception phase, and these are all the things, all the processes that you have to take into account when you are in the inception phase. Okay, some of them apply to software development, but not all of them apply to software development. Okay, from all these options, maybe in the inception phase, that is the one that I am explaining now, you can take out all those options that do not apply to your project. Okay, so in the inception phase, you will take a look at forming the team, exploring the scope, securing funding, planning the releases. Okay, and most 90% of the problems that a project has in this, that product development has in the inception phase will be here. Okay, included in one of these different options or points to take into account. Okay, but we are going to be inside each of them with a DA browser, because if not, this might sound a bit theoretical. For the construction,
yeah, sorry, you can go on.
Yeah, for the construction phase, this is why DA tells you this is a guided continuous improvement, because it guides you to take into account these 5 different options. Okay, if you have problems in the construction phase, probably you are going to find a solution tackling one of these different elements in the construction phase. The same happens in transition phase and in the ongoing phase. Okay, so if you want now, if Erin, if you can share now, I don't know, you can share the screen with the DA browser. After we have seen this, we are going to perfectly understand the DA browser, and I'm going to provide you a couple of examples, so we are going to see it in action.
Great.
Before sharing it, we have some small questions. Maybe we can try to answer them, and then we can go DA browser part. But
okay,
that questions, Emrah, as you remember, last week we discussed in life cycles. I think Claudia, life cycles is connected with this part. For example, if I'm working with a project-based company, inception phase will be very important for me. But if I'm directly full product company, and if I have value streams, also product-based value streams, so I can use Agile or Kanban life cycle. So I don't put inception phase in my scope. I can directly go with construction and ongoing phase.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the logic tells us that, but imagine that, Erin, you are developing a product and you are facing some problems in that development or construction phase, and you say, okay, let's have a look. Maybe we didn't do something properly in the inception phase. Let's have a look at that, okay? And it can help you. It can help you. Yes,
you are exactly right. For form team, I think that will be important. Okay, I'm very excited to open the browser part, but before it, I will show some questions. Maybe
okay.
Are they
yes, we have 2 very interesting questions here. Osman says,
yeah, when I was studied in a company, I tried to apply to lean management and agile practices, but I was failed, and I understand that we should initially convince the board of management before we start to agile approach. That is why I have a question. I couldn't read it. How can we
persuade the board of directors?
Yeah. Okay. This is a very strategic question. Okay. Yeah. You can enter. Imagine there's an organization. I'm going to tell you, this is a personal case that I had. This was a very big organization. These were one of the top in the share market, and part of the board, they wanted to. They were feeling the need to change the way they integrate customers in the definition of their products. But other part of the board thought, okay, we are making high revenues, why change the way we are working? Okay, so I thought this is going to be difficult because the whole board does not agree on changing. Okay, but we tried a different approach. Okay, then we said, okay, let's go and start with small teams. Okay, let's bring 2 or 3 teams like a pilot, okay, to work with pilots. But first of all, let's define which are our objectives with those pilots, okay? Some of the objectives were defined by the teams themselves, but we asked them to define also some strategic objectives, because if we reach those strategic objectives, next step was going to be to present the board the results. This is the way to convince a board with economic results, okay? So the way we approach was like that. We work with, at the beginning, were 4 pilots, okay? We choose only those teams and people who wanted or who were willing to explore different ways of working. We didn't go to them telling them Agile is the solution. We went to them, and I remember the first day, and somebody told me, Claudia, you are the one who is going to convince us about DA. And I told him, no, not at all. I'm going to show you what is DA, and if you like that, let's go for the next step. I always say that with Agile, okay? And I explained DA to them. I explained Agile because they were completely new into that, and they say, yeah, we like that. And some people say, okay, we have like 4 projects, 4 pilots. Let's explore with them. So we explore with those pilots. One of the pilots went down, okay? It was really good for us to learn and for them to learn the kind of maturity that they needed to have to start with an Agile. But we worked on the next 3 projects, 3 pilots, and they were a huge success, okay? But we had only 3 pilots, 3 success stories in an organization of over 5,000 people. Not enough to convince the board, not enough. Okay, we went for more pilots, okay? So let's go for different kind of pilots. One of them were for software development, other were for human resources, other were for product development, okay, many different things, okay? So then we went for 14 pilots, 14. And we took people not only from Spain, where I'm based, but also from Mexico, from the States, from, different kind of pilots, integrating different degrees of risk with the pilots, okay? What we found is that people in these pilots, they were the best prescriptors, you say, the people who talk best about Agile in their own organizations. So they started themselves creating a series of, we are going to show you how we are working with DA, how we're working with Agile, okay? And now they are not only 14, now they are 25. But we are still in the process, but we are on the right track, okay? If the board of directors is not convinced, you have to convince them bit by bit. Okay, this is at least my experience. Okay.
Thank you, Claudia. And John, shared his answer with us. Yeah, I think use a small part of company. I think John agree with you. I want to add some point in that part. Maybe while we are going with pilot sessions, we can start with our value stream assessment process to assess whole company's problems. In sometimes we need to touch that areas. For example, portfolio management side, strategy side. For example, in my experience, some companies have problem in portfolio management side. They cannot prioritize their initiatives, epics, or projects. In that case, I think if we focus with that part, we can bring big impact in that company. So, while pilot process is going, if we touch that part, it will bring new ideas and new success in our transformation. So value stream assessment process is very important. I want to add that note.
Yeah, okay. What I have here the comment, John. Hi, John. How you doing? He says that he used a small part of the company as an experiment and provide proof that the change is making a difference. Okay, yes. First of all, I would say that the first thing to do for any organization is to see the value in changing things, okay, in changing the way you work. Then accepting a different mindset, okay. Then third, could be acknowledging that this brings a different way of working, and then working. Okay, so these are different stages, but the changing of the mindset is the first one. If not, this is not going to work. And as you say, John, in these teams, this is another organizational example. Okay, one of the things that they used to say is that at the beginning they thought, okay, yeah, we're going to work with Agile. Okay, and then they say, yeah, now I'm going to be the product owner, I'm going to be the Scrum Master. But the problem came when people from different departments have to sit in the same place and solve things, because they were not treating themselves as a team. Okay, this is a very big change in your mindset with Agile, with Agile. And but someday they say that they thought, yeah, okay, let's do this. I mean, all of us, we are in the same boat. Okay, so this sense of the same scope or objective is what made them change the whole way they were working. But it was really hard for them. This is what they said. The process was hard for them. Yeah, okay. Thank you, John. Thanks for sharing.
We have one question too, and Nejat asked us, yeah, does DA also cover the core requirements of Agile autonomy?
Yeah. If you have been here when talking about the mindset in the previous ones, yeah. Discipline Agile covers all principles of the Agile Manifesto. But let me think about one that is, you have to, how do you say, maybe you can help me, Erin, excel the expectations. You have to, how is that? It's not that you have to cover expectations, that you have to excel expectations. You have to be wow. I don't know the exact word, okay? But I remember once it was Mark saying that, okay, that they read that principle in the Agile Manifesto, okay, and you have to focus on what the customer wants. But they thought, why not providing more than what is expected from the customer? And I heard an example that I really like a lot. Okay, imagine that you are going to a hotel, and okay, you go to a hotel and you expect the hotel to be clean, to be, some standards, okay? But imagine that when you are going to the hotel, somebody asks you in the registration form, which is your favorite color, which are your favorite flowers, or your favorite sweets or bonbons or whatever. And when you go to the room and you see maybe a rose there. Yeah. So that is discipline Agile. You have to excel what the expectations of the customer are, okay? Because this is what makes the difference.
And maybe I can add some point that part. Agile Manifesto is writing about software development, and I think DA covers more than software development, DA mindset part. It covers in business agility side also. I think that's the difference. Yeah, Agile Manifesto is very important, but that's are not rules. So we have to improve it, and we have to add value it to achieve our business goals, not just software goals. I think, as I remember, Claudia, DA recommend us not directly autonomy side, semi-autonomy, because if you manage your company with autonomy, Nejati, it's my comment. Let's do that, but to be success is you will see some challenge while trying to do this. So you can connect this question with DA mindset part, be pragmatic. Yeah, if you need semi-autonomy part, you can use it, and you can create solution with bureaucracy. So we have to be pragmatic. So yeah, Agile Manifesto is important, but we have to add more value on it.
Yeah, the principle that I was referring to was delight customers.
Delight,
Okay,
all right.
delight customers. Okay, that's a good word. Yeah, and there are also some principles that I found them very interesting and that also connect with what Erin was saying, the value streams. Okay, these are the optimize the flow, okay, and the enterprise awareness. Okay, I'm referring now more to teams, so that the important thing about this is that you can enter discipline agile on a business level, and we have said the value stream, and you can enter discipline agile on a team level. But the good thing about entering the DA with the discipline agile is that the mindset for that team is with that enterprise awareness. Okay, so it is easier to escalate. Yeah, this is important too, on the principles.
It helps, yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
at this point, I think it's a very good point to see what's going on with DA Toolkit, because I have also some questions about it. How about Claudia? Are you ready to show us what's
ready.
going on there?
Erin, if you can, if
Yeah.
you can share. Wow, I cannot see that. Maybe my screen is very small. Maybe.
Okay. I will zoom in. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I will talk to you about this DA browser. Okay. On the left, okay, you see this gray thing on the left. This gray. Yeah. Okay. Here you can see on the top is you can see inception. Okay. Then below inception is construction. After construction is transition, and then ongoing. Okay, so you remember before we have said that, okay, this is like a lean approach, but here is placed in that order, and then within each of them we can see the different options. Okay, now I'm going to place an example now. Imagine that we are two examples so that you can understand this. Okay, this is a business. They are producing special windows for hotels, okay, and they need to be on market in 5 months. Okay, so they start the project, and after 2 months, okay, they see, I mean, the product owner sees that this is not going well and that they are not going to make it in 5 months. They go to make an assessment and to see how things are going and how DA can help them in this. Okay, so from the different stages of the project, inception does not apply. Construction applies now. Why? Because we are already in the project. Okay, we are not starting it. We are already in the project. Okay, and in here in construction, okay, this is not a software development, so proof architecture early. Okay, this one we can erase it. Okay, one thing that you need to know is that if you want to apply the DA browser in a specific context, we can erase some of these options so that it applies to your reality. Okay, so proof architecture early, no. Maybe I'm going to jump into improve quality. No, because quality is okay. We have problems that we are delaying, okay, the product into the release. So the product produce a potential consumable solution.
So we focus on our problem, which is timing.
That's it.
Good.
Accelerate value delivery. Okay, this one. Okay, I am inventing now the context. Okay, but you have to think accelerate value delivery. Okay, then I say, okay, accelerate value delivery. I'm going to see the options that the browser tells me to take into account into this big option, accelerate value delivery. Okay, and here you can see some of the options that are optimize the team. Okay, I have to think about that. Okay, optimize the work, optimize the flow, choose a development strategy. Okay, I'm going to go through all of them I am the one who is going to lead this assessment, but I am also the one who knows who is going to attend to that assessment meeting. Okay, so if it's optimize the team, okay, probably, yeah, I have to optimize the team. Okay, what does this mean? You click there, and then you see here on the bottom of the browser, you know here what does optimizing the team means and why it's important. Okay, so that it helps you. Okay, everything is in here. Okay, I can tell you that this browser is so powerful. It's full of content and full of knowledge. Okay, so you come in here and you go to optimize team, and you, as the person who is going to lead next week this session, you say borrow team member, drop team member. You think, okay, I don't know who is the best solution for our team, but what I'm realizing in here is that if the option is borrow a team member, maybe in that assessment session, I need to bring somebody from human resources. You know, because this is not a decision that the team can do it on their own. Okay, so this is the way the DA browser is connecting not only your product and your team, but also the whole organization. Okay, this is one of the things. And imagine that, okay, you decide that you are going to talk about accelerate the value delivery, but if we go to the grade side, we have here also the second option in the construction phase is address changing stakeholder needs. Maybe I didn't think about this, but DA tells me that most projects that have a problem in the construction phase are having this kind of problems. Maybe I didn't think about that, but maybe thinking about it, I say, okay, I'm going to have a look what DA refers to address changing stakeholder needs. And I go and say, stakeholders interaction with teams, and I say, yeah, I think this is okay. Elicit requirements, maybe they say, okay, no. I mean, we don't really know which are the stakeholder needs. They have not made them elicit. They have not made them visible to us. Maybe it is something we didn't realize about before. Okay, so in the address changing stakeholder needs, I'm going to address this part, elicit requirements. Okay, and for elicit requirements, Discipline Agile is going to suggest us different tools like all hands demos, interviews, iteration demos, just in time, on demand demos, whatever. But what I realize here is that to address changing stakeholder needs, maybe I need to bring some of the main stakeholders to that meeting, because they need to get committed to the tool that we are going to use. Okay, so we are not just talking about teams of teams. We are also integrating stakeholders in the decisions that we are taking for the next iteration. Okay, and this is the power of DA. Okay.
As I understand in that picture, that's not rules. That's are options. And if I see any challenge in my transformation in my team, I can check all areas and find solution. And I have to find my solution. And to find my solution, I have to know my own problems. So
That's it.
first define problem and assess my problem, then find solution. I think it's different from the other frameworks. It's not recommend us just do it. To address challenge stakeholders, not just they didn't recommend us just do it, and I think that's a great picture to understand it.
Yeah, and Erin, I will add also that you have to see which is your problem, but the DA browser very visually gives you hints, clues of problems that you hadn't thought about. Okay, but are there in the world, okay, in the real world, because all these options have been tested in different customers, in thousands of customers, and maybe you didn't think about the stakeholders' needs, you know, how they were impacting to your daily work. Okay, so this opens your mind. Okay, also. I will also add that. Yes.
When I discussed some customer, some company in Turkey, they said me, we are doing this with pragmatic way, but we don't know that browser. But if we see challenge, we are trying to find solution. We are discussing with different communities, different companies to find solution. So I think that's was very important point. It brings all ideas in same area.
Yes, and also, Erin, if you are in a consultancy and you want to bring that solution to your customer, first you're going to make an assessment, and then you, with each browser, very visually, you can also a kind of develop an improvement roadmap. Okay, so that you can tell your customer, okay, what we see the pain points here are in the inception phase, in construction, ongoing, but let's go bit by bit. And visually, they have here a kind of tool that is going to tell them, okay, in the first step, okay, we're going to go in the construction phase because we are not doing it right and we need to have those windows in 3 months in here. But we are not doing fine also all those ongoing activities, because in these ongoing activities, maybe you have here one of them that says measure outcomes, the last one. Okay, in the ongoing activities. Erin, if you want to go to the gray thing, okay, so you go here and you have the measure outcomes. Maybe you are not measuring outcomes, okay, but first of all, we are going to, okay, work with the construction phase because we think these measures are going to have the fastest impact in the project, okay, this is what we want, okay, because this is going to provide value sooner to our project. But it doesn't mean that there are not all the things that we have to take care and we have to take into account, okay, that we can take in next stages, okay.
Yeah, a lot of company is asking this question. Yeah, we are we are working with some style. We are doing in some station in our transformation, but we couldn't calculate or we couldn't uh, how can I say, we couldn't measure our outcomes. We are doing some
Yeah.
projects, but we don't know if we complete this project. So I think that part is very important to measure our outcomes.
Yeah, it's very important, Erin, and this also brings to my mind, okay, imagine that you are working for the government, okay, you are a contractor for the government. So there are some organizations come to us and tell us, yeah, but we cannot change that much in the inception phase because the scope is already defined, but this kind of big projects that we are doing for a specific ministry or whatever, we cannot change that much in that. Then in those cases, I always tell them, okay, you go to the ongoing phase. Okay, we have here the ongoing phase because this is the way you best improve the way your team is working. Okay, and even though the scope of your project is already there, even though you already have very well defined all the outcomes, okay, you can still improve how the team is working. Okay, and in this ongoing phase, you have like grow team member, and you click in that. Maybe you say improve skills and knowledge. Imagine your project is a 4 years project, okay, for the administration. Okay, so improve skills and knowledge, provide feedback, sustain the team. All of these are very important, okay, and they can strengthen your team. They can increase morale. They can make all the company be more aligned, okay, and sometimes these ongoing aspects of the project we leave them aside and we just jump into developing and producing the things to the customer. But in very long projects, like 4-year projects, you really need to take care of the ongoing things.
I think it's a good point. For example, in that part, improve skills and knowledge. A lot of consultant or a lot of company trying to use that options, book clubs, trainings, open space, and we can find all options in there. I think that's a good archive to follow them.
Exactly. Such a summary of a lot of experience in a short
Yeah.
manner. Yeah.
We
Bravo.
have,
Yeah, everything is condensed in
Yes,
here.
exactly.
But yeah, once you know how to use the DA browser, everything, all the information opens up to you, and you can help a lot to your team and to your project. A lot.
yeah,
Great.
it's very good. It's free and also. We have one question. Do you want to ask Emre?
Let me see. Yeah. First of all, I need to change. Which version of DA browser is suggested? What is the
Oh,
upgrade schedule?
yeah, there are different versions, and we acknowledge that the last one is always the best one. Okay, why? Because this is a product that listens to the market. So we are listening to the market all the time. So now the last version, it was just released just 5 days ago, is the 5.6. Okay, if you go to this one, maybe you can see some differences from the previous one, but I can tell you that all those things that are included in here you can see a lot of value streams about enterprise, DevOps, and everything. If these are some concepts in here that you think these are too much for you, you are going to start now with a team or whatever, they can be erased, or you can just simply not have a look at them. Okay, but the latest version is always the one that is most tested in the market.
I think Scott also mentioned that they arrange such a way that it's easy to update, so that the best practice always there, uh, without any long confirmation lines or something like that.
Yeah, it goes really fast from market to browser.
No, great, great, great.
Yeah.
If we have any question, we can ask. As I see, there is no another question, but we can say it.
I have another question for
Okay.
Claudia. Uh, we listen what's going on in globally from Scott, and now I want to personally ask you what's going on in Europe, how you communicate with companies, organizations, or PMI chapters. Can you tell me more
Okay.
about that?
Yes, yeah, we are in a quite strong awareness process.
Yeah,
Okay, in Spain, we're working a lot through the chapters. Okay, the same as the Turkish chapter now. We are also with other chapters, and in some cases, chapters put us in contact with organizations, and we present them more or less what I have presented to you now, and see with them if DA could help them in any way. So this is what we are doing a lot now. There's another area that we are doing, and Erin knows about that too, in that we are testing the product. We are testing the DA browser all time with the customers. This is what the main lines that we are doing now, the product testing and the awareness raising. I think so, yes.
oh, great, great to know.
Maybe we can share some good news in Turkey. We are working in some Turkish companies to test this browser. So we are adding value, I think, with Turkey.
Great,
Yes, yeah. I mean, in Turkey, there's a huge DA community, and Erin is really pushing it forward. And yeah, and we have, I can tell you, like 2 or 3 meetings every week with companies in Turkey, and we are really happy about that because the answer to our first 30, 40 talk with them is always really positive. They really want to know more.
oh,
Okay, so for us, this is being really rewarding, really nice.
great.
And we have 5 minutes. End of each session, Claudia, we are giving a book, and we are asking a question to our attendees, and the first answer will take a book. The question is spontaneous, and we directly ask some simple question, and then find the first answer. How can we go today, Emrah?
You mean the question or how
Yeah.
to choose the part? Say it again.
I have one question.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
If you answer, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Which is the software tool that helps you work easily with Discipline Agile so that you can take decisions faster with your team? Which is
Okay.
that software development tool?
All right. Waiting for answers. Which is the software development tool that makes you decide on your problems faster?
Yeah.
Can I answer, Emrah?
No, unfortunately, no. You don't wanna win
I
your
know.
own book. Yeah. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
see who's answering. All right.
No one is answering. Okay, we will give you some couple of minutes.
Mhm.
Maybe we
Which is,
can have. Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Nejat.
Necati. Great.
Is it right?
Necati Usal is the winner of the day. Bravo. And Leman also answered, but a little late, like 12 seconds, I see. Sorry. Sorry for that. Oh, great.
Okay. Yeah, we are on you, Emrah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you add us a great value tonight, and we go deep in what's going on with the browser, and you also connected with the mindset. It was you fill the gaps actually in our sessions. Thanks for that, Claudia. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank
So,
you.
in behalf of PMI Turkey chapter and our webinar team, I thank you personally. It was great to host you. Would you like to say a few words before closing the session?
Yeah, yeah, I can only be grateful to the chapter and to Erin and to yourself for the chance to me, to us, to PMI, to show what is the DA browser. Because even though it needs a bit of explanation, okay, it is, so powerful that once you know that, I mean, and having the chance for me to explain that in this hour has been a luxury for me. Thank you very much.
Great. Eren, would you like to close the session for all of us?
Okay, and many thanks, Claudia, to see you in here. And I believe we will add more value discipline agile together also in Turkey chapter and with you. And let's see next steps and improve together.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, for my part. And thank you for our attendees. And
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you all. See you in the next session. Bye bye. Peace.
see you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.